because we get to hang out with Robert Ory, Darren Collison, Stephen Nelson here as we get you ready for the pivotal Game 3 down in San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals. Victor Wembanyama back home with the Jackals. Oh. All right. Rob, what do we think of the fit for Game 3?
It's casual, business-like. Sometimes, people want to be suited and booted. That's not this era.
Nuh-uh.
They gonna come in with a sweatsuits in a track meet, so he ready to go.
I mean, he's a Spur.
I wasn't gonna go there. I wasn't gonna go there.
There we go, DC. Oh my gosh, this is a massive game for Victor Wembanyama and really Oklahoma City Thunder too, because they're pursuing history, trying to go back to back. And the winner of Game 3, you look back in history. Obviously, it's a very meaningful contest. So, when you woke up today and you thought Game 3 West Finals, what was the first thing that came to mind, DC?
Man, the ability for Wemby to put his imprint on the game. I think I was talking to Rob in the back. Like, I felt like in the second half, he started to put his imprint on the game for Game 2. But it's got to be throughout the entire game. This is what, what a superstar is supposed to do. Now he's in that stardom role, and he has to deliver. So I feel like if he puts his imprint on the game from the first quarter all the way to end, I think he'll be okay, and the Spurs will win.
I totally agree. If you're going to be shorthanded, because we don't know about Fox and Harper, you got to take over. You got to be that guy that's going to be dominant. I thought one of the things down the stretch where he started going towards the basket, and sometimes is that a shot? I think he just threw it off the glass so he can get the offensive rebound and put it back. So I think he kind of figured out something with that. And he says, I'm going to be going downhill, attack the basket. And the good thing about that is you can either get the offensive rebound or you can get someone in foul trouble.
All right, 41 and 24 in Game 1, just an historic performance for Wemby in Game number 1. Game 2, it's not like he didn't get his numbers, but it was a different type of game, and credit goes to Isaiah Hartenstein and the Thunder for switching up their game plan and being more physical with them. And if you're on the OKC side, Rob, are you telling yourself, let Wemby get his in a way, but or how do you kind of approach this from the Thunder side after what happened in Game 2?
I'm never a big component of letting that guy get his, because when you have superstars like that, they can do things that can change the momentum of their player. He can get a dunk on someone, that excites a teammate. Next thing you know, they knocking down a shot or going down for a dunk. You saw what Castle was able to do. So for me, you shut the head of the snake down. You go at him, you beat him up like they're doing. You try to make him tired, make it physical for him so you can get his head off. It's always a head game. We always talk about the physical part, but sometimes it's a mental part. And with the physical part of it, it can change you mentally.
DC, I mean, it seems like the Thunder bench is going to have the final word in this series, which is kind of crazy to say given all the other star power that they have, but the bench impact for OKC obviously has been, pushing the scales toward the Thunder. It's 107-41, the bench scoring so far this series.
Yeah, Nelly, you can make the case. If it wasn't for the bench players, I think OKC would have been in trouble going down 0-2 heading into San Antonio. We got to give credit to Cason Wallace, A.J. Mitchell, Jared McCain. They really held up the end of their bargain just for them to just be in the game. So when S.J. has his moments in the fourth quarter, they're not being down by a lead. They have enough to have him in striking distance to go up. But you got to give the bench a lot of credit, and it's going to be like that throughout the rest of the series. OKC's bench has always been consistent. They always have somebody off the bench that's going to give you between 10 to 15 points. Whether it's Caruso, too. Caruso can give you 10 to 15 points. Caruso's averaging 20 points right now. So, look, their bench is going to be consistent. That's just something that the Spurs have to understand.
Our man Caesar said that Caruso is outscoring the Spurs bench all by himself.
Crazy.
48-41. You talked about the injuries, the question marks that are up in the air for both sides, right? You don't know about J-Dub for OKC. We're not sure about De'Aaron Fox or Dylan Harper for San Antonio. Focusing on the Spurs side, Rob, if both those guys can't go, Fox and Harper, there's going to be an even bigger spotlight on Steph Castle, given the turnover issues that he has specifically had so far in this series.
I think Steph Castle at home plays way better than he does on the road. I think he's going to be in a situation where, sometimes when players that young, when that crowd gets into it, it amps you up. So he has a tendency to make mistakes you normally wouldn't make. But at home, it's a different kind of amp. It's a more focused amp. And I think at home, he'd probably have no more than 3 turnovers a night, because it's just about being comfortable. And I talk about this all the time. You want a player to be comfortable. And when I used to coach my son's team, I said, make players uncomfortable, because when they're uncomfortable, they make mistakes. But he's going to be comfortable tonight. I think he'll, cut those turnovers way down.
DC, give me the guard perspective, because Mitch Johnson said this quote, trying to get Steph Castle playing off 2 feet or getting off the ball earlier with the early pass and just letting the ball find the open man. So if you're Steph Castle and you're getting that message from your coach, your mindset becomes?
It's just that, right? I think Castle, being in his second year, is starting to understand how valuable possessions are, especially being in the postseason. And yes, you do have to jump off 2 feet. It's not like you're in college no more where you can go off 1 foot and then go up and then rise and dunk. I mean, he had the dunk against Harkenstein, but I shouldn't say that. But in all seriousness, I mean, if he learns how to limit his turnovers, you look at his efficiency rate. I mean, he went 10 for 17. That's big time for a second-year player. He limits those turnovers. We can talk about them being up 2-0, right? But I think this is just a maturity level that he's understanding how to play, the pace, and learning how to get out the ball like his coach says.
So we're looking forward to game number 3 tonight. The old saying goes, the series doesn't start till the road team wins. Well, that has already happened in the West Finals. The Spurs stealing home court advantage now. Can they maintain that tonight? We'll dive into the matchup as we get closer and closer to tip before game 3. But the series hasn't started, if you lean on that saying, yet in the Eastern Conference Finals, because the New York Knicks took care of business at home, winning 2 games and now lead 2-0 going back to Cleveland. 2 wins away from a return trip to the finals for the first time since 1999. DC, we did see this happen to Cleveland in the last round, and they punched back when they got home. Are you expecting that again here in the finals?
Man, I don't think so. I think the Knicks are going to be in control of this series throughout the whole series, and I have them winning game 3 only because I think they're locked in defensively. Sometimes it takes a scare in game 1 to get you mentally prepared for the next games, right? And I think game 2, they came out playing Knicks basketball. I think they'll do the same thing in game 3. But, I think the Knicks is going to take this series, partly because they all seem like they're tied in defensively as a unit.
Rob, if you had to single out one Cav as the key to getting back in this series, who would it be?
It'd be Donovan Mitchell. I think you got to have one of those Donovan Mitchell games where the reason the New York Knicks wanted him before they got Brunson, where he's going to give you that 45-plus points of the game, where he's attacking the basket, he's doing things of that nature.
Wow. So look at this. The best point differential for the first 12 games of a single postseason, the New York Knicks are plus 221. Not particularly close. The next best team, that would be the 2017 Warriors at plus 196. When you talk about Jalen Brunson, typically we're focusing on the points scored, and more specifically the points scored in clutch time.
Yeah.
But in game 2, it's hard to not have your eyes go toward the 14 assists.
Yes.
It's like he just didn't force the issue and try to be that guy.
To me, that's so important. I play with a lot of dynamic guards, and when you get other guys involved early, that means it's going to be easy for you. And you think about how he ended game 1, where he just kind of annihilated the Cavs, and the Cavs probably were like, okay, we can't let that happen again. And him being a smart player and having a smart coaching staff help him understand, like, if you get the ball popping, you get other players involved, the game is going to be easier for down the stretch. And I think that was very, very vital for them to win this game.
Like, DC, and this is not a specific to Brunson thing, but I think the general thought from a fan may be, all right, well, he's the star. He's going to try to be the star in a big moment. But he let the teammates take charge. He moved the ball around, and he let Josh Hart be the star in the game. Brunson did.
Well, you look at his last couple years in the postseason play, Jalen has put a lot of pressure on himself to score. And that's a lot for a superstar player in himself, right? We're talking about his health at this point. And you're putting that much pressure on yourself, like by the time the fourth quarter comes, you're going to be tired. So I think now he's came into this postseason like, look, I'm going to let my teammates get involved early. And then if I need to score, then I will. And you can see that he has a lot of energy coming into the fourth. But I think that was the biggest adjustment he made coming into this postseason, in particular coming into the fourth.
The Cavs coach Kenny Atkinson said that's what great players do. They read the game, they feel the game. That's